All right. Hello, high school football fans in Illinois. Welcome to the DuPage Run and Shoot Show, preseason edition. I'm your new host, Patrick Cotto, taking over this season. We are doing a preseason special, and this week's episode, we are saying hello to the new publisher of Deep Dish Football, Jenny Czerwonka. Jenny, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Of course, Jenny, happy to have you. So the first question, Jenny, I want to ask you is that you are taking over Deep Dish Football. What are you most excited for about the opportunity?
Well, first of all, thank you to Coach Big Pete for the opportunity, number one. I'm most excited just to share these kids' stories and try to use my platform to get them where they want to go. Any help that I could give them is great.
How did you come across Deep Dish Football? Like, what made you want to get out of bed one day and say to yourself, I want to take over?
Well, it didn't really work that way. But a long time ago, I started following Pete on Twitter, and I would read all his stuff, and I really liked everything he was doing. And it was when concussion protocol was being discussed and when concussions were, being discussed so much of a part of youth football. And Pete had asked for someone to, write a guest article from a mother's point of view. So I did that. And then over the years, we just stayed in contact. And then when Pete decided he was going to give it up, a mutual friend kind of reached out to me and reached out to him and connected us and said, you know what, Jenny would be perfect for this. You guys should talk and get it going. And that's what happened. Nice.
And have you been getting the ball rolling on it, I assume, so far?
Well, it's been a little bit slow. I'm kind of just taking it a little bit at a time. I did a bunch of interviews. I did some, little articles on kids here and there. It's been going good.
Take a look behind you. You got a Marist and Mount Carmel football helmet and stuff. I assume you are involved with both those football programs. Oh, St. Rita. And what else is behind?
The other one is the youth program that I was a part
of. Okay. So what do you do with the three programs, or the four, I'd say?
No, you know what? I'm a big fan of the Catholic League football.
Okay. Well, it's definitely a perfect time to be a fan of the Catholic League football because Mount Carmel got back to their winning ways. Loyola won a state championship last year. Mount Carmel winning it. Nazareth winning it. Naz. I mean, nobody can stop Naz, no matter what their record is and stuff. And what were you, especially for a school like Mount Carmel, how happy were you to see them win another state title? How many state titles is that now?
15.
15 for Mount Carmel.
15. They tied 15, yes. So it was a pretty big deal.
Okay, so they tied JCA for the most state titles then, right?
Yes.
So they're one state title away from having the most state titles in the state of Illinois.
Yeah, but this schedule came out. They do have a pretty tough strength of schedule.
Right. And I know you and I were texting about it. earlier this week. But when did you first get involved with I guess being a fan with Mount Carmel football?
You know what? Probably back in like 2012-ish, a friend of mine's son was playing quarterback for Carmel all 4 years, and he kind of followed the same steps as Jordan Lynch went on to play at Northern. But watching him at Mount Carmel, I just really became a huge fan. And then that led into all of the football.
Was it I should remember his name. Was it Don Butkus, I assume?
No, Anthony Thompson.
Oh, okay, because you said 2012, and that was the year.
Well, that was the year he started. Then he graduated at 15 was his last season.
Okay, okay. Well, then, yeah, you got to witness Mount Carmel win 2 straight state titles. How fun is it just watching those Mount Carmel football games? They got to be fun to watch.
Oh yeah, super fun.
What about
The atmosphere is great.
what about the Marist games?
Oh, they're fun too, super fun. I think Marist is going to have a really good year this year.
I was just gonna say they got a new head coach, Mike Fitzgerald from York, someone that has that's been bringing that program on the rise lately.
I think the kids are excited to play for him. He brought back Coach Marty Quinn, who was previously with him at Marist when they made it to state and they were the runner-ups. So I think those two working together, offense and defense, is going to be a good fit. I think the kids are really excited and all the rest of the coaches are regenerated and ready to go. And it was definitely a fluke they didn't make the playoffs last year, but I think they're really going to make a far run this year.
Well, the Catholic League is tough and stuff, so you never know what kind of Catholic League team you're going to run into. But
Right.
want to be the best, beat the best.
Exactly.
Who has been, out of all the years you've been, watching high school football, who's been your favorite player that you've watched?
Well, you know what, to say my favorite, there's so many kids, especially right now, that are seniors that I've watched since they were little, and they're all doing great and probably going to have exceptional seasons. They're all my favorite, but if I had to say the best player I've watched, it's definitely hands down Darian Dupree.
Darian Dupree from Mount Carmel, I assume?
Yeah, running back. He's going to be at Wisconsin this year.
Okay. Did he just graduate?
Yeah.
Okay. The offense is so loaded, I keep forgetting who the names are and stuff. Elliot's
Watch
back.
the Batavia highlights from last year and you'll be amazed.
Oh, I will. Elliot's back for another year, right? The quarterback?
Yeah. So a fun fact, Jack Elliott's from the youth program that I was in charge of for a little bit. So
Okay.
he's definitely one of my favorites. So Jack's awesome. Not only is he great on the field, he's academic too. He's number 6 in his class academically.
No way. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm super excited to see him go to Vanderbilt.
That's where he's going to play at Vanderbilt?
He's got
Nice.
1 year left. So
Awesome. For deep dish football. Like for those who are just hearing of deep dish football, what is it?
well, to me, it's a platform to help the kids get their story out, help them grow their name. There's a big following on it. I like to interview them, be able to ask them questions, and then eventually share their highlights so that they do want to go to college, they could use it as a recruiting tool. I like what Big Pete has established. It's free and not charging. I feel like there's so many people out there that are charging and giving a promise, and whether or not that promise is fulfilled is up in the air.
What do you hope, some players, could learn from a platform like deep dish football?
Well, one thing I'd like to eventually get into how Big Pete would do with more of the recruiting and teach kids that it's not really about sitting back and waiting for the coach to come through your school. But, one, you have to be good. 2, you have to always work your hardest in the classroom as well, right? And in the community, your grades are even more important than your athletic abilities. But I also want them to learn that they have to market themselves a little bit, and, it's up to them.
Every year, teams are different and stuff. You graduate some from the one year, and then you bring in some new players. We were talking about some teams that, some teams had some down years last year. Which teams do you think will have some bounce backs this year?
I mean, it's definitely Marist. That is the biggest one. I kind of went through last night again and looking at the schedule, and I really think that Marist is poised to have a good year.
I was going to say, yeah, Marist, they've been up there a lot, and then they just took a step back. But now, especially after last year's, hard schedule and stuff, I think they could definitely learn
Yeah.
from that and take it this year. They start off against Morgan Park and then Brother Rice, Montini, JCA, IC. Tough schedule, but again, be the best, beat the best.
And last year they played JCA. It was a close game. They only lost by 1 point, and then JCA went on to be the runners up in the state. So we'll see. Anything could happen.
Exactly. Now, one of the conferences that obviously this merged a while ago, but I'm sure you're aware that the DVC and the Southwest Suburban Conference both merged into a conference. Max Preps has it as the Southwest Valley Conference, which I like and stuff. I personally think it's a good move and stuff to help out boost those teams' competitions.
I think this schedule, if nothing else, it's going to really help this schedule. How the blue, the red, the green end up. Will that be, the right? Is everyone where they should be? Should maybe Naperville Central be in the blue? There you could kind of go either way, right?
Right, but if you look at the blue division, you got North, Nequa, Lincoln Way East, Homewood, Flossmoor, and Lockport. So who are you going to put in that red division, though, out of all those teams?
Maybe Lockport or HF, but going to decide.
Lockport's, I would probably lean towards Lockport because they're always like, they're always like hit or miss and stuff. Like 2021, they had that strong year, but then the past 2 years they've just broken 500 and stuff.
Right.
But again, it all depends on what the teams bring back per year and stuff.
In H&F went 5-5 last year, but they are another one that I think is going to have a little bit stronger of a year this year.
And they are a fast team every year. They got some really fast players. And then Lincoln Way East, they got the quarterback, Jonas Williams. So there's the replacement for Braden Tisher, who's gone now.
Yeah, I don't think East is going to have much trouble until further down in the playoffs. Just if I had a hunch.
I was going to say, yeah, depending on how that goes, yes. What are you most excited for about the high school football season?
I mean, every week there's such good games. I mean, there's so many to look forward to.
And you check out all the and I assume you're going to go to all the Mount Carmels and try to get some Marist games?
Yeah, I try to do like the first week Mount Carmel plays Hun, from New Jersey. They play them on a Thursday. So that works out good. Then Friday will be Marist has Morgan Park. So
okay, Hun. You said Hun is who they're playing, right?
Yeah.
What do you know about them? Are they a New Jersey
they
powerhouse?
Don't play. Well, yes, but they're okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they're similar to an IMG where they don't play in a state series.
Okay.
As far as I know.
Yes, I know. IMG plays East St. Louis this year.
Yes.
I think
and Loyola East St. Louis will be a good game.
Oh, there's another fast team right there, East St. Louis.
Yeah.
I expect them to be back in the state title this year.
Yeah, I mean they're always pretty good, right?
Yep, they're the winningest. Well, if Mount Carmel keeps on winning, I'm sure Mount Carmel will make the category of being the winningest program in the states. Another question I wanted to ask too, when it comes to when you're writing up your stories on players, how do you choose these players and stuff? Just out of curiosity.
Some right away have been reaching out to me, and then I did put it on my social media. So, if any kids that, kind of followed me already, I said, if you're interested in being interviewed, let me know. There are some kids then that I reached out to, I reached out to Braden Jones. He's having a huge year as far as recruiting. So I reached out to him, kind of that, a little bit of both.
So far you've been doing the ones up here in the Chicagoland area, right?
You know what? There's actually the kid that I've done the most with, the most stories, is this kid, Zach Poole. He's a lineman from downstate. And okay. I've talked to him a lot, and he's actually gotten really good feedback from the articles we put out and got invited to a lot of camps. He's heard from Iowa, he's heard from Mizzou after we put out there. So that's a pretty good sign.
Where does he go to high school?
Lincoln Railers.
Oh, yes, Lincoln. I know they've been on the rise lately. Their athletic program is a great athletic program. So that's a good school for him. What about any other players down south? Which leads me to that question. Are you hoping to, maybe, hopeful to get in touch with players from like, down south, and not just like, East St. Louis or Fallon or Edwardsville, but like the other schools.
Right. Not really as far as interviewing yet, but they've been sending me their highlights and I kind of been sharing them and just talking to them a little bit.
Have you maybe got in touch with some of those schools from Central Illinois, like, around Springfield, Peoria? Because
Not yet, really. Not really. Most of the go ahead, bud.
Because those areas have some strong football programs.
Yes,
too.
for sure. I've been following a lot of the schools to get more involved, more, knowledge about them, but I haven't really talked to many of the kids yet.
So I take it and how does the schedule and stuff work out? Is it just, is it your pace?
Yeah. When I took over for Pete, I was kind of like, let me just go at my own pace, see how it goes, what works, what doesn't. I'm not quite ready to put out any top 10 list yet. We're going to take a pass on that for now. I was invited to a few camps, but right now I just wanted to kind of get in and get through the season, see how it goes and see where it takes us.
How have you liked it so far?
So far I've liked it.
But obviously come the football season, I'm sure it'll get a little more busy and stuff, as we see more names and names and names and names pop up.
Yes, for sure.
What conference in like the Chicagoland area do you think will have, another strong year? I feel like the West Suburban Conference is always up there every year. The silver and the gold with the Hinsdales.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Hinsdale Central does this year. I think they're going to have a good team.
Yep, they got a big lineman back. Downers Grove North, they got their quarterback back.
Yeah,
you can't count out York. You can't count out York. Glenbard West.
Yeah, and I definitely think Naz is coming back really strong. I know we talked about that, but
no, nobody can stop Naz, no matter what the record is.
Yeah, they're good.
But actually, speaking of Naz, did they deserve to be in at 4-5 last year? Sure, it showed in the playoffs that they deserved to be in, but did they deserve to be in once the pairings came out?
I mean, I don't think you could say no. I think they do.
Did you think they were going to make a big run to the state championship?
No, I didn't. And, we were in the car on the way to head down to state, and I was like watching the game on my phone, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, and I knew like, okay, if Naz beats JCA, then Carmel could come in and be tied. So it was like, but I think they have a really good team. It'll be back strong. I think that wide receiver, that Jake Sestoni, is going to be really good.
You got him. Is Gabe Kaminsky's back too, right?
Oh, yeah. Is that his first name? Dave?
Gabe Kaminsky?
Gabe. Yeah.
I think he's both ways. Malachuk, the quarterback, he's going to be a senior this year, isn't he?
They're young.
Luke Malachuk?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, he'll be back. That Naz team, look out. How about Montini finally having a bounce back last year? Because the 2 years prior, they just never got it going. But last year they finally got it going, and this year they could, get back up to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Awesome, Jenny. Well, as I got for you, is there anything else you want to mention to me?
No, that's all. But looking forward to week 1.
Yep, we're looking forward to week 1, and we're looking forward to seeing you doing some awesome work with Deep Dish Football. You're going to crush it.
All right, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.